Alright guys, we are back on Steps of War with QXC defeating SUGGY in Lost Temple Map 1. Now, talk to me a little bit about that game, Jeff. That game was pretty action-packed. I mean, it was back and forth the entire game. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, first thing, obviously, eat your heart out, Zerg complainers and mech bitchers. I mean, that was, pardon my French, that was an awesome game. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff going all over the place. QXC's simple little drop at the base spread out the Zerg, a couple things we saw too. Zerglings, not that great of support units. I mean, the Ultra Ling tactics from Brood War, which was so famous and so common, it was pretty much the norm, made it looked kind of silly in this matchup. The Zerglings felt like they were there for about 2 seconds in each fight.
Alright, so we do have SUGGY, the Zerg player, spawning in the southwest, and in the northeast we do have QXC, the Terran player. Now, Steps of War always talked about as how the two bases are so close to each other. What do you think we're going to see here on this map? Possibly more of the same from the first, or are we going to see something completely different?
I couldn't have eaten my prediction any more well, I guess, in that first game. Like, I predicted a slow mech play, given the map positions, and of course QXC disrupts that by going hyper-aggressive Banshee into bio and detect, mech play kind of thing. Steps of War, I like it for the same kind of play. Like, QXC, very aggressive. I think when he looks at a matchup or a map, I think he's thinking of ways to attack faster, harder, stronger, as opposed to slowing down the game. I think that's his tendency as a player. So I would look for the same kind of aggressive, pressure-oriented play into some kind of macro attack.
Looks like we do have SUGGY opting, probably going to be taking a fast expansion here as he's sitting at 15 drones, not building, actually no, excuse me, completely wrong. He's going to be dropping down that spawning pool right there. We do have a drone of SUGGY's inside QXC's base. He knows exactly what's going on, but really there's not too much variation that a Terran player could do this early on in a game, unless he was going for something like a Reaper Rush, which of course he is not, as we see it now there, as the Rax is not even finished. He does have that SCV there at the natural expansion, blocking it. Wow, he's going to be dropping an engineering bay there, making sure that that fast expansion does not come from SUGGY. And looks like we are going to see an extractor here from the Zerg player as well.
Yeah, the engineering bay expansion block harkens back to Brood War. The thought process was always that it's one of the cheaper things you can build, but at the same time you get the most health or hit points right off the bat. It's more than a depot, but less than some of the other things that cost more money. It also could float if you were able to finish it, which of course is not the case in StarCraft 2. But this shouldn't do too much to change up the Zerg's play. You want to get those Lings out about at the same time you expand, or shortly thereafter, and you want to get the Queen. So, of course, the Hatchery Queen Zergling order of production, it has swapped and changed here, but it's not too detrimental to the Zerg play, in my opinion.
One thing that I like from the Zerg player is he's saying, well, you put an engineering bay down at my natural expansion, I'm going to take your second gas with an extractor. So he's going to be blocking that second gas with that extractor. Now here comes the Marine. Doesn't really do too much for the Terran player, but he's going to have to obviously take down that extractor, and he is going to probably have to build away. But now we see a factory being built there at the ramp, as well as a reactor, so we might be seeing an early Hellion harass here. And one thing to note is also this wall is kind of Baneling proof, although that supply depot on the left will fall relatively quickly to a Baneling.
Yeah, we do see that there's a quick Roach Warren going down, so it probably won't be Banelings, at least not in the immediate portion of this game. And we do have the Zerglings clearing away that engineering bay, so pretty standard safe play going here for SUGGY. He's going to clear out that engineering bay and then probably push towards the Terran base and see what he's looking at. He's going to find a reactor Banshee, factory for Banshees. And Roaches are a very good response to that, so this game's shaping up to be pretty standard, pretty strong for both players.
Looks like those Hellions are about to pop out here relatively soon from that factory, and here comes 4 Lings. They are going to be roasted here as those Hellions, just like they're going to spawn right now, and looks like he does pull those Lings back just in time, but look at those Hellions actually being able to attack as they're firing now. I think that was a unmentioned patch notices. They can... There's something with the maneuvering. I don't want to cite something that's completely wrong, but here come those Roaches. There are 4 Roaches in the middle, and look at those Hellions just backing off completely as they really do pretty much no damage to those Roaches. I mean, look, he just hit that back one and it only did like 6 or 7 damage to it.
Yeah, he actually doesn't have a really good answer for this. Marines are not particularly good against Roaches either. It's going to come down to micro here. I mean, these Roaches are certainly, they shouldn't be the end of the game, but they are pretty tough here. We have the Roaches hitting the depot. Actually, they targeted the SCV, I believe. No, excuse me, the bunker. Marines just holding their hands, I suppose. They're not really doing anything at this point in time. Bunker goes down, more roaches reinforcing. Now, those Banshees don't do a lot of damage, but if left undeterred, they do damage, so I mean, it will accumulate. QXC's not even repairing. Now he starts to repair. Roaches start... Oh, it's going to be too late. The roaches bring it down.
Wow,
that's a lot of roaches.
There's so many roaches here at the ramp of QXC's base, and I think that might be all she wrote for the Terran player here on Steps of War. He really has no answer for all of these roaches in his base. There comes another Marine coming out of that Rax, but really, I mean, all he could do here is just keep backing up those Hellions there and using the speed of those Hellions to try to do as much damage, but now you just have those roaches in the mineral line of the Terran player. And really, I mean, as those roaches continue to stream across the match, what can the Terran player do here, Jeff?
He's doing everything he can, but the problem is, I mean, he's microing the crap out of those Banshees, and he's making these roaches fall, and they're taking damage, but he's not mining, okay? We see that the other command, I mean, and there's reinforcements coming, so this is a battle of attrition and a problem that the Terran has no answer for. Like, if he was able to mine during this period of time, and he had more units able to handle more damage to these roaches, I would think that this is closer, but really, I mean, we just see these SPs counts dropping. Now down to, what is that, 8, 7, 6, I mean, it's 5, 4, you know, that's the end of its supply, and once this is over, anticipate a good game, but very nice, bulldogish kind of play from the Zerg, like, you like Banshees and Marines, huh? Well, I've got something that doesn't take too much damage from either of those things.
It looks like QXC might try to play this out. He is going to be taking his command center over behind the destructible rocks there on the, I guess, far north part of the map, on the left side the map, excuse me, and those roaches just continuing to do a ton of damage there. It looks like he's going to be pulling those back instead of taking out that factory and racks there at the front, and now waiting to see how SUGGY is going to respond to this. I mean, he can't obviously hit any of the air units. Looks like that orbital command might go down there in the main. No, wow, look at those Hellions just been being microed the entire time those roaches have been inside of his base.
It's just like a mannered version of a nerd meltdown, though. He's not saying anything, but he's like, I mean, this is so hopeless. I guess he's wanting us to watch him practice his micro. Like, if there was an island expansion that was high yield and it came with 4 battle cruisers, then yeah, this would be like a really cool situation. But this is all semantics, and we're just watching QXC do a UMS at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. It looks like he has everything lifted, but they are going to burn in. There's the GG from QXC. I mean, really, can't really say too much about that game other than some great aggression from the Zerg player SUGGY. So we will be back with Desert Oasis, which, I mean, as these past 2 matches have gone, I cannot wait to see what happens on Desert Oasis.